How is this not a civil war?
So after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, a few predictable things did happen. Obviously, there were evil left-wing anonymous accounts who were just cheering all over the internet, and some of them got 335,000 likes and 4.1 million views on this one. Just not only being totally unsympathetic, just actively cheering that he had died. Right? I
don't know if you guys have seen the tweets of people saying that the right is weaponizing the celebration of Charlie Kirk's assassination and getting people to lose their jobs. It's just like a taste of the left's own medicine, because previously the right has never organized in such a way. And I think they're at about 10% of their power level.
Thrilled that this had happened to him. And again, some of these got hundreds of thousands of likes. This is, I think, it's safe to say, a very widespread...
Yeah, they pulled an Uno reverse card on cancel culture. This is insane, though. These tweets have hundreds of thousands of likes. And this is on X. I don't even want to know what blue sky looks like. If your instinctual reaction is to cheer when somebody dies, you're sick in the head. You have zero things going for you in life.
Opinion on the left. And that's just judging from...
It's probably botted, to be honest. I think dead internet theory is real, but I also think there's a lot of mental illness on the internet.
The anonymous Twitter sphere. You got the sort of blue sky types who were Elon next, Andy No, Benny Johnson, Ben Shapiro, just hoping that, again, in stochastic terrorist style.
So stochastic terrorism is a term that is often thrown around. And if you Google what stochastic means, it's a mechanism that indicates randomness. It's sort of hard to follow, but essentially it means that people are throwing out these broad ideas of violence, insinuating death and destruction on fellow humans. It's completely random. They're doing it without the thought of consequence.
One of their number would be enough of a lunatic to go out and shoot someone else. It's like, right. Okay. And then you get TikTokers who are posting things like this. I feel bad for Charlie Kate's family. I don't F his grown-ass wife for marrying and supporting a literal fascist who wanted to harm on the marginalized group and have no empathy at all. I hope...
He literally just debated college kids for a living. Yet it allows these people to hide behind plausible deniability. A lot of these people are faceless, anonymous. They're like roaches living under rocks. They're not the men in the arena.
His kids have a better father now, heart. Hashtag dark woke. Well, at least we know what dark woke means. Dark woke means be as evil as possible. Hopefully all of your enemies get killed.
You can't reason with madness. That's a good point.
By one of your number, and then you dance on the grave. I mean, the idea that, her complaint is Charlie Kirk doesn't have empathy is remarkable. Because, aren't you guys complaining all the time that the Israelis are just killing the Palestinians? And this is horrific because the Israelis are happy to do it from your perspective, and some Israelis cheer.
I just hate this timeline of posturing and being on the right side of history and all this talk about, where's that energy when millions of kids are dying every day in Gaza? Some things are just so self-evident. Yes, genocide is horrific.
And you're like, oh my God, this is a horrible, horrible thing. But they're doing it for ideological reason.
It's just unemployed behavior, to be honest. I think a lot of these people don't have any actualization in their lives. They don't have stability, they don't have careers, they don't have family, they don't have friends. They seek solace in massive echo chambers. This was always their goal. Why feel bad when baddies die?
Have you ever asked what the Palestinians actually think about the marginalized groups that you love so much? How do you think they feel about transgenders or gays, for example? How do you think they feel about minorities in their own country, assuming they even have any left?
Charlie Kirk obviously spouted inflammatory rhetoric, but that doesn't mean he deserves to die for it. I just think if somebody's inflammatory rhetoric causes you to want to assassinate them, that's a skill issue on you. That's fucking insane. Also, Charlie Kirk was considered moderate. pretty just down the line conservative and traditional, which are ideas and politics that millions of Americans have, which is why it rattled so many people, right? Because he really didn't do anything to deserve that whatsoever, and the violation of human life that took place was enough to radicalize me. I want nothing to do with whatever that shit is.
These people are cheering because Charlie Kirk was killed of his opinions, because they don't like the content of his opinions, and then complain, oh, the Palestinians are being killed. And that's not even for their opinions they're being killed. They're being killed because of Hamas. But if they were to ask the Palestinians anything about their opinions, they'd be like, oh, what?
Tim Dillon had someone on his podcast talking about how compromised Charlie was by Israeli billionaires. Yeah, I mean, here at Third Eye Global, if you've been paying attention, we broke down in various flowcharts and webs what we think the actual theory is behind this. Is he compromised by foreign intelligence? Maybe. I just think we got to stay on topic here. The writing is on the wall. We know where this is coming from. The FBI just needs to do their job.
Right. I'm glad you're dead, and I hope your kids have a better father now. Hashtag dark woke at them. Because they've discovered that the people they're defending...
Because there are people on the internet with a digital footprint that literally predicted his death. Multiple accounts. That's not a coincidence. We don't believe in coincidences here at Third Eye Global.
Well, honestly, they're to the right of Charlie Kirk on almost every liberal issue that there is. So there's a deep and abiding contradiction in all of this. But of course, none of it is about that. It is about, he is an enemy, and these are a client group, our client group. And so the other enemy, Israel, is killing our client group, therefore bad.
I'm just disgusted at the inherent bloodlust. It's showing people their true colors. There are people out there that want death, destruction, and decay. And that is scary.
One of our enemies has been killed, therefore good. And it doesn't matter what the content of the character or the belief system of either client group or enemy is, because that's not what this is about. Anyway, so the thing that was really remarkable, I mean, you can see how emboldened they all are from all of this. They don't think there's anything wrong with doing this. In fact, they think they're going to get upvotes from their fellow leftists.
They are getting upvotes, whether it's organic or botted. Some of the biggest tweets around this event were celebrating the death, and that should tell you something.
By posting this kind of thing. But it's the brazenness that really struck me. Like, you've got here a teacher called Angela Lavallee celebrating the murder of Charlie Kirk. She teaches at a particular school, and she's cheering for the death of Charlie Kirk. She's like, no, I don't care. It's good that he's dead. And it's like, right, okay. Why is she so confident? Why does she think she can just turn around and be like, yeah, obviously, we're happy to kill a fascist?
Because it fits their ideological framework of painting people as Nazis and fascists and ontologically evil. Notice how you can justify heinous acts against your fellow man when you reduce them to generalizations and stereotypes that aren't even true.
Obviously, that's fine. Obviously, it's fine that this guy who doesn't agree with left-wing morality should be murdered in front of...
A fascist is crazy, like he was a internet talk personality. He was an influencer. He wasn't even a politician.
Of his children. Now, let me go back and teach the class of children that this is a good thing. What's she teaching them? It's kind of mad. And then you've got other people who, again, these are all people who are making public statements, who are just like, yeah, no, it's, Gaza. Oh, Gaza. It's like, okay, but again, the people of Gaza supported Hamas. The people of Gaza support quite a hardline version of Islam. The people of Gaza are to the right of Charlie Kirk on almost every issue.
This is the Red-Green Alliance. It's so clear to me that these people are just intellectually dishonest and they don't have two brain cells to slap together. They're not capable of complex thought and nuance.
But that's not going to impact you on this, because it's not really about that, is it? It's really about the fact that they're yours and he's his, and it's good that he's dead. But again, why is she so brazen about it? Why can't she be like, oh no, hang on a second, this is quite bad.
Because people who don't have any power in their own life, those who are not strong, it manifests into ugly human behavior. They must insert themselves when it's okay to do so, when they have the backing of the collective hive-minded group. Those people who are actually strong and stand up for what they believe in don't need other people's approval. They just know what's right.
Probably at least say, that's terrible and we're against political violence. Instead, they're like, well, you know.
Like, they can't even condemn it. They have to make it, God, I can't. I'm going to lose it.
It's worse for the people in Gaza. We don't care about vocal Islamophobe and bigot. Like, okay, all right. I mean, you see here, Ilhan Omar and Mehdi Hassan can barely contain their glee. Just like they're talking about, oh, look, unhappy faces.
It's because these people hate Western civilization and everything it stands for. It's really the core of it. It's the oppressed versus the oppressors, cultural Marxism. Probably even the white man, the Christian. They don't think about his family. They don't think about the impact he's made. To them, it's more than politics. I'm not even some giant Charlie Kirk fanboy. Yeah, I didn't consume a lot of Charlie Kirk's content at all. But I think I speak for a lot of people that collectively we are disturbed to a level that I didn't even think was possible. And this behavior just puts a knot in my stomach. They believe they're the good guys in some fucking movie. That's a great way to put it. I don't recommend you watch the clip at all. But I just don't know how after seeing that footage, you can do anything other than call it for what it is.
But then they start laughing. Like, what's so funny, guys? What's so funny about all of this? And look, other people in the replies are like, oh yeah, look, they seem happy. And it's like, right, okay, interesting. Even like...
We can't live in a society where political figures are being killed in broad daylight. That's some third world country shit. Yeah, I know. America is supposed to be way better than this.
Mainstream left-wing figures don't care about this. And then you have the example of the Oxford Union president who just openly celebrated it, right?
I think Nick Fuentes had the most base take on all this. So I listened to that, his live stream on the night that it happened, or rather the day after, because I think he was also correct in that everyone needed to take a beat and digest what the fuck just happened. And in that live stream, he talks a lot about God and spirituality, and he praises Charlie Kirk, rightfully so. And he says some kind words about him. But what stuck out to me, and I 100% agree with, is that this is fucking evil incarnate. It is true evil. You don't even have to be religious or spiritual to spot it. When you watch that video, when you see what happened, if you're not able to point at that and say that is pure fucking evil, then there's no helping you. There's no rationalization of any of this. That is the most human reaction.
This what's his name? It's some weird foreign name. Mr. Abba.
And it's the same thing with Irina Zarutska, the Ukrainian refugee who was killed on the train by that monster. And it's the same reaction from the children attending Mass from a couple weeks ago. It's pure evil. You cannot reason with evil.
Abaronier. I can't. George Abaronier. I can't pronounce it right. Some immigrant name. And he just came out and was like, Charlie Kirk got shot. Let's effing go. And it's like, okay. And another ones were like, Charlie Kirk got shot, lol. Exactly. So you can see these people just hate him and want him to die. And the thing is, this guy debated Charlie Kirk not so long ago. So there's no human connection there. No.
This whole week on the internet just made me so fucking pissed. Who was I to think that people were actually better than this? Like, what else did I expect, though?
No, honestly, no empathy whatsoever. No amount of just concern about a fellow human being. He was, I disagreed with him, and it's good that he's dead. And so you've got lots of people objecting to this, understandably, and no one cares. And when it comes to these are
supposed to be the smart, intelligent intelligent, empathy maxed people.
Very end of it, I mean, you got Richard Tice saying, look, he celebrated the killing of a political opponent. An example needs to be made. You would think, and I've heard that he's a bit of a diversity hire because his grades aren't exactly that good. So how did he even get into Oxford, let alone become the head of the Oxford Union? But the Oxford University declined to comment. But the spokesman did say, well, the Oxford Union is independent of the university, and therefore there's no crossover whatsoever. We deplore comments appearing to endorse violence. They are unacceptable and entirely contrary to the values of our community. And he's still the president of the Oxford Union. Nothing has changed. And what's interesting is, like, he has, in debates, previously come out and said, oh no, we should use violence if there's something that...
You know what I hate about this? I feel like I'm the crazy one. They're so insane that I question my own sanity.
We feel is oppressing us. We should use violence against it. It's like, all right, so it is actually entirely within the spirit of what is promoted at the Oxford Union. And as these students of Oxford University, and they haven't been kicked out of Oxford University, I think it's safe to say that Oxford University does indeed endorse and co-sign everything that they're saying. So, okay, that's really weird, right? That's really, really weird how we have got a political...
That's the whole point of dehumanizing somebody by calling them a Nazi or a fascist who wouldn't want to kill someone like that. Well, that's calling for stochastic terrorism. It is a threat shrouded by loaded language.
Environment on the left that is just so accepting of all of this. It's just completely normal to them. And so the question is, well, what do we do? What is our reaction? Now, there was a doxing website made, which I don't endorse. I don't like doxing. I'm not gonna turn around and say you're terrible people for getting a lot of the teachers and whatnot fired.
I mean, I guess the diet version of that is painting me as red-pilled or a right-wing grifter. I'm just paying attention and sharing my thoughts. And surely people change over time. But I've never once associated myself with any cringe fucking internet political group. Ever. But for it to make sense in people's minds, they have to reduce people to what they find is appropriate.
Because a lot of them do deserve it. But this to me doesn't feel like the right way of resolving the problem. But I can't...
Everything must be categorized to be understood? Exactly. But personally, I'm politically homeless.
I can't think of anything else.
I think a lot of people are. I just sure as shit know I want nothing to do with the people that can't condemn evil when they see it. And that's not even political. That's fucking spiritual. That is humanistic.
Think of any other way to do it. There has to be a price to be paid, right? If you're going to just cheer when one of our guys gets killed, well, you know, free speech isn't freedom from consequences. I have been reliably...
Yeah, some things just transcend politics. Who would have thought? Label maxing and surface level effort. It's retarded. I just can't.
Told by people like Mehdi Hassan when they had the whip hand. So, like I say, I'm not going to endorse it, but I'm not going to condemn it either. But the thing is, we have to think about the kind of world that we're in, because these people are an...
You know what it is, though? Both sides partake in a level of nihilism that I also don't agree with. The black pill, always dooming. And part of that is extreme violence and nothing matters. It's just inherent tribalism's got to go away.
Accurate reflection of the left. The left has just gone full mask off at this point, but like, yeah, no, we are actually bloodthirsty lunatics. We're complete psychopaths. We are happy to murder you, and we will cheer about it when you're dead. And we will congratulate the killers. I mean, look at Luigi Magnoni or whatever. Just killed a guy in broad daylight in cold blood. I think it was at night, actually. But he killed a guy on the street in cold blood.
It was in the morning, before work.
He was made a hero. It's like, right, that's a real problem, man. Like, that's a real problem that we have to grapple with. And I don't know what the solution is. But you have to be aware. I mean, this is just the end of the bond of sentiment that underpins any civic polity. At this point onwards, if it wasn't clear up until this point, there is just a cold civil war going on. And in fact,
it's honestly a good way to put it.
seems, and I think there's not a stretch to say this, that actually it's starting to turn hot. This is what is happening. When their guys start shooting, and not even our guys, the CEO of the healthcare company, not my guy, he's not on my team, but I don't want him dead. Like, obviously. Like, I don't know anything about him, so I can't say he's one of ours. But
you can have basic human empathy for people you don't like. It's ridiculous. See, what even worries me about that thought is that when people say you don't like someone, that in itself is loaded. It's like, have you ever met them? I guarantee people that you paint as somebody that you don't like is just because you don't like what they have to say on social media, or you don't like their politics. But there's more to a human than that. For some people that are emotionally stunted, I understand that that's all they can comprehend. But I guarantee if you meet somebody that you don't like and actually spend time with them, it might turn out that, guess what? You like them. Because, like I said, there's more to a human than what they say online, or what they do for work, or where they lie politically. But everyone's so fucking comfortable just writing people off and making them their proverbial boogeymen in their head, because everyone needs a villain and somebody to fucking point to and say that they're the problem in my life. And the most mature people who see past that and don't play that stupid game are the ones usually doing well in life, because they don't tear people down, but they're so focused on building themselves up and those around them, they don't have time to do that.
Like, Kirk was one of ours, and they murdered him, and they're cheering about it. So I think it's fairly safe to say the Civil War is probably here. Now, what I am definitely saying is don't go out and do something stupid. Obviously, we're going to deal with all this lawfully, and eventually we're going to make it so this isn't a problem. But at the moment, I think literally all we're going to be able to do is just make sure everyone is aware of the kind of people that they are. And I realize this won't be a satisfying conclusion to this video, that a lot of people will say, well, you know, that's kind of centrist and milquetoast. It's like, yeah, it is, because I live in England and I'm on YouTube. So, of course, I'm going to, the kind of response that you're going to get from me. But be aware, this is what civil wars look like. Starting not just civil wars either, often start with an assassination in a politically charged environment, and instead of any kind of reconciliation or grieving on the part of the political faction that caused the problem, there's mirth, merriment, joy, and celebration instead. It's like, right, okay, so we aren't friends, we can't get along, there's going to be a reckoning, and unfortunately, and I really mean this, I don't want this to be the case, it just seems like this is going to spiral out of control.
Really hope not. Because that is playing into the hand of what these chaos agents want. They want destabilization and war and blood. It's not good. A lot of people got to do some soul searching and introspection.